Hello, everyone. Welcome to Transformation Tuesday. Thanks for joining me. Who is joining me today? Please say hello in the comments. If you're watching live or watching the replay, I love that you're here. I'm Liz Forrest. I'm a Master Shamanic teacher of almost 30 years, sharing Toltec practices and tools of personal freedom as I've learned them, and with permission to pass them on to you. So let me know who's joining me today. So today I want to talk about a teaching that is a very strong practice on the path of awareness, the first mastery of the Toltec path, mastery of awareness. And this practice really helps because this teaching, it's really subtle. And sometimes it's difficult to see in ourselves what we are going to talk about today. And so it's really, I feel like it's a lifelong practice because it can get kind of insidious and just seep into other places in our lives where we might not expect it. And that practice is personal importance. Personal importance. It's similar to self-importance, similar to ego, but not quite the same. The teaching of personal importance on this path reveals that when we are in this strategy of personal importance, we're seeking validation from the external, from others. We're wanting to be recognized as worthy, as valuable. And this can it can show up in a lot of different ways. It can look like wanting to be right about something in a really dominating way. It can look like overpowering a conversation to be heard above everyone else. It can look like being the know-it-all with a group of people, always one-upping someone. They contribute something, and then you one-up them. You know more, you know better, you know the right way. Feeling like you are better than someone else. Yeah. And I'm going to guess that we all have had some experience, if not a whole lot of experience, with some of those behaviors, some of those strategies, I call them, in our lives. Would that be you? You could say so in the comments if you're brave enough to do so. I will say yes. Of course, it's shown up in my life. Yes. And so what do these behaviors tell you about yourself when you find yourself immersed in them? What are they telling you about yourself when your personal importance is really activated? What do you think? You could put that in the comments. Well, here's what's going on. You're not feeling confident in yourself in those moments. You're not feeling worthy in yourself. You're not able to value yourself in an authentic way. So your low radar is up, is how I describe it. And you're wanting to draw that towards you. You're wanting to find your confidence, your worthiness from someone else, from outside of yourself, from out there somewhere. Because you're not holding that for yourself. And what you might know from the Toltec path from being with me in Transformation Tuesday and other ways that perhaps the books you've read, the workshops you've taken from me and other teachers, is that this path is all about becoming aware of our thoughts and our emotions and our behaviors and taking complete responsibility for them. Yeah. By releasing the need for external validation, we can focus on our own integrity. Yeah. Shift our perspective, our perception. We can focus on our own integrity and work to break free from sabotaging ourselves, because really that's what's happening, right? We're sabotaging ourselves when we are in our personal importance, in that really demonstrative overpowering others' state. Hey, Irene, good to have you here. Yeah, good question. Does the person even know they're in their personal importance? Or is it their way of being unaware? Perhaps, but we can only work on ourselves, right? Yeah. So witnessing it in other people is really seeing their own wounding in themselves, that they're not feeling confident in themselves. They're not valuing themselves. Yeah, so they're wanting to draw that from an external source, from other people. Yeah. So how do we break free from personal importance? How do we break free from sabotaging ourselves? It's a deep question, and as I just said in the beginning, it's a lifelong practice because it can show up really subtly in ourselves. And so here's a great way to explore when personal importance, our own personal importance, becomes activated. Notice where in your life you get defensive if someone has a different point of view than you do. Being defensive is a really great indicator that we're in our personal importance. Rather than being able to hear another person's point of view, maybe find it interesting or not, maybe agree or not. Okay, without becoming defensive or wanting to be right about whatever the situation is. So it's interesting to examine who you are with when your personal importance gets activated. Is it at home with your partner, your spouse? Does personal importance get activated when you're at work with your colleagues? Or maybe just around a table in a coffee shop with your pals? Or at a workshop where you're learning something new? Yeah, maybe feeling a little less confident because you're learning something new. You don't already know it. And so when you notice you're behaving defensively, here's something that can help. Take a pause and ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? What am I feeling? Why am I needing attention in this way? And notice what arises. Becoming more aware and shifting from self-judgment, because often that's where we're at when we're in our personal importance. We're feeling very judging of ourselves. When we're not valuing ourselves, when we're not feeling worthy within ourselves and not having to prove it to anyone else, it can feel judgmental of ourselves. And when we are aware we're in personal importance and shifting from that behavior, it shifts our self-judgment. It increases our self-respect to accept ourselves exactly as we are in the moment. Yeah, accepting ourselves exactly as we are. It's an interesting practice, and I encourage you to check it out, where you notice that you are defensive or where you are feeling offended by other people. So I want to leave you with a quote from Carlos Castaneda, who you might be familiar with. And this is from one of his books, The Wheel of Time. And this is a quote from Carlos Castaneda. Personal importance is humans' greatest enemy. What weakens us is feeling offended by the deeds and misdeeds of other people. Personal importance requires that one spend most of one's life offended by someone or something. Interesting, hey? Yeah. Even simple things like if you're out driving and somebody cuts you off and you feel like, how could they do that? Get really defensive and offended. Somebody would dare cut you off. Yeah, that's personal importance. Yeah, personal importance is very activated then. And also defensive. Yeah, when we're defensive with our husbands, our wives, our partners, our workmates, when we get defensive. So check it out. I'm so interested to hear what you discover. And if you would like to know more about personal importance or about any other teachings on this path, about any classes, workshops, journeys I offer, please put interested in the comments and I'll set up a complimentary session with you. We can meet and have a great discussion. So thanks for joining me. I will see you next week right here in Transformation Tuesday. Enjoy your day. I send you my love.